Wonderful, and thank you, and greetings for those who have joined us now in Future Now Moments for this beautiful summer solstice. As you can see, it's been raining all day. I feel that we're getting a big cleansing and releasing all of energies ready to be let go and ready to be released. And so nature is playing a big part in the recalibration of humanity, as we are playing a big part in the recalibration with Gaia and all that she is as a nature essence and as a beautiful divine planetary body that supports humanity in our awakening to all that she is, through the elements of all that she is, through her co-creative genius that she is as a planet, now awakening within each and every one of us, for those who so desire to tap in with the Gaia consciousness, which is something that we do every time that we gather. We bring her in and we set the sacred space with her consciousness. And in our alignments and meditations that we'll do today, we will also anchor within her divine sacred crystalline heart, the sacred crystalline Christ consciousness that runs within the crystalline heartbeat of Gaia, that runs within the crystalline grids of Gaia, and in and around the consciousness fields that are consciousness fields of Source Creator Light, and how we can begin to understand our merging and our enmeshment, our entanglement with all of the God consciousness soup that we exist within. And so this offering today will be a celebratory offering in the sacred gathering, that we remind ourselves to play as the innocent child that we are, each as divine source creators, awakening into the soul essence of all that we are, as exploring all that we are as source. Humanity has been awakening through the enlightenment and ascension process to greater understand who we are and what truly exists within us, and what do we exist within, and all that we're able to play within. In that seeking, in that exploring, we understand that we become more evidently aware and more feeling into our omnipresence, knowing that we are within all aspects of life. We are within all aspects of our seeming reality, that we co-create, so that we may have the lessons reflected to us, so that we may have the experiences reflected to us of how truly profound we are as co-creators. And the Arcturian group is with us today, that provided me with a message that we'll read at the end after we go through our meditation and alignment, that just reminded me of truly how profound we are as co-creators. And we often forget that we've been on the path of awakening and enlightenment, and we've allowed ourselves to move through the processes, of ascension, the releases and the integration and the reflection. And it's been such a long process for so many people, and it's been such a journey for so many people. But now we're at the crucible paradigm shift in our perceiving, because it's how we perceive our reality that begins to change it to a more fluid reality. So how are we perceiving our mastery and our already ascended source essence state? Is it something that we continually have to seek into new processes, seek into new experiences before we feel ourselves as source, that we've always been? And so to fully understand all that we are as source, to begin to explore all that we are as source, to know that source and all that is within us, as well as our exploration of all things without. And so this exploration is the dynamic journey of the soul. It's the dynamic journey of who we are as source beings. And so in our alignment, we'll do some really fun, playful experiences that are very light and very fluid, so that one can begin to feel into the fluidity of love, feel into the fluidity of source that is all things, all movement, all breath. And really that's how, when I've often connected with the divine source energy in everything that I bring forward, it's always such a soft and elegant and beautiful flowing vibration. And so these offerings are high vibrational in their offering. So the vibrations that I'm emitting, the vibrations that are emitting from the essence of all that I am in my field, the sacred sounds and the tones through the intention of the Christ consciousness, And so the vibrations that I carry and send out are the vibrations of the heavenly bodies that I've anchored in and allowing to flow through me. So the Christ consciousness, Jesus and the collective of the Christ, the heavenly councils and source creator and Gaia, and the heavenly masters and the ascended masters and the rainbow tribes and the inner earth beings and tribes that are with us today that have come forward, and the frequencies of Gaia. So all of these frequencies are flowing in and out of the intentions of the sacred circle that have been held so sacredly in sacred communion with our heavenly councils, our etheric families, and our healing teams. They're surrounding us in a circle. And so that your souls have been called forward, your higher selves have been called forward to assist in setting the sacred space, so that all that you receive today and any activations henceforth, any healings that you may require, will all be divinely encoded now and in the following days that you so choose to garner the energies and the vibrations or the remembrances of today. And so just know that it's a natural, innate, flowing movement that as you garner the energy and ask for it, you're already bringing that quantum energy through you. And so this is how we want to allow the perspective of the celebration of love to be this simple. Not to have it to be a process that has to be gained or to-do list that has to be checked. That the elegance of your love, that the elegance of your source creatorhood, that the elegance of all that you are as source is so divinely innate within you. It's natural. And the divine sacred heart that we so often talk about is in the very center of your beinghood. And the heart chakra is being activated. And you can feel it if, when the heart chakra is activated, the various heart chakras that we have, now that we're moving within unity consciousness, and we're anchoring the energies of the divine source and all that we are embodied within. That heart chakra, you can feel it begin to build in its capacity of light. And it feels pressure, but it's actually the heart chakra building in its light capacity. And so to allow that energy to live through you is simply by your permission and your intention, and not to have it stay in that essence of rotation, but never being offered out. And this is what's sometimes been called and been written about in ancient texts about living soulfully as source, living soulfully as God, having God live through you, offering God to live through you, offering source creator to live through you, transcending all dogmas that we think that we've shaped as humans God in. And God is all things, God is all particles, God is all life, God is the maker of all creation. And so source creator, God, whatever we choose to call this essence of source creatorhood of divine love and divine light and divine sacred joy, the existence of it flows in all things. But as the heart chakra opens, you can feel and invite this essence forward. And it truly becomes your loving intention of who you are within the fields of consciousness within the all. And that's playful and it's sacred and it's beautiful. So we're going to do some movement, those who so desire, to begin to feel into the fluidic energy of God living through you, because it can be felt as you open the divine and sacred portal of all that you are, and you just breathe and activate your divine sacred breath, that divine pranatu, which is God. That's that sacred breath of activation. That's that sacred life that nourishes you. Those are those sacred light encodings that nourish you. You can feel the breath begin to open and expand your consciousness. And then grounding through the sacred sands and soils of Gaia to her crystalline heartbeat. Gaia then feeding you her nourishment, her feeding of the energies that she is, because you are an earth body. We require Gaia for our continued health and wellness and centeredness and maintenance of who we are. We require her balance. And it's very, very important from here on out that we practice throughout the day grounding and centering with her. And the more that we ground and center with her, the higher we are able to raise into those accelerated cosmic quantum galactic consciousness energies that are being offered right now. And why so many are feeling the way that they do. And so even for those that are not aware or awake, feel into, and if it seems timely, offer them the inspirations of grounding. If you see them feeling flustered or just chaotic, just offer them suggestions. Grounding and breath work is really easy to do, and it can really calm the whole bodies, the systems down. And grounding and feeling the sands and soils of the earth and the elements that are in the soil nurture your body and your skin. just through intention, just through your activating it through your permission. You're gaining those nutrients, you're gaining those energies because it's all quantum. The physical reality is just illusory. It's our consciousness as source essence. It's a fluid flow of us as source, masters of source, creating as source, fluid and lovely and playful and childlike. And we're going to invite in the soils. We're going to invite in the energies of Gaia from her crystalline heartbeat to energize and nourish and cleanse all that is required. And in this inhale, breathing in that nourishment, activating divine source breath, calling in the healing teams for the activations, the healings, and the releases that are required for you divinely when they are required. And just soften into the knowing that you are the master moving about in this quantum field of allness, and it's very fluid. And you'll feel this pressure here. And then you offer it forward in sacred play. I offer forward the elegance and the joy and the bliss of who I am, a source. And it's very soft and it's very elegant and it's very playful. And it's a celebration because we're changing the perspective of our everyday life so that our everyday life can be what we perceive it now. And this is really key because there's so many that are walking around and feeling the anticipation of a shift and feeling the anticipation of changes and upside down life altering moments. When really it's this now that is always your essence as source to live within any dynamic experience you so choose. And letting go of the predisposed stories or the expectations or the energies that thought it had to look like one thing or be aligned with anyone's story that had been written previous, because it's changed. It changes in every moment. And how may we soften into the fluidity of this change and be it? Just be it. Allowing the essence of celebration of you as source just to be. And allowing the essence of the infinite possibilities just to live through you as they do. And this is one of the greatest letting go excitements that we see coming for humanity, is the ability when that moment clicks within you, that this now moment is the infinite, eternal, all expansive moment as you are with Source. That's all that matters. And it's expansive and it's dynamic and it's profound and it's light and it's loving and it's the most co-creative dynamic that one can experience. And it's heart-centered and it's still and it's soft and it's powerful. See what we're saying here, dear ones? That it's not so much the processes anymore. It's about the surrender into this now moment, to be still, to give yourself permission to open and allow the receiving of Source. The receiving of Source is you living as Source, is you the becoming of Source, that you've always been Source, that you are feeling yourself entangle and thread within all things that is Source. And you're calling in your soul the embodiment of all that you are in all things, that sphere, the essence of you as Source essence in all things, your soul, living soulfully from your heart, living soulfully in your authenticity, living soulfully in your excitements, living soulfully in your soulful sharing, is the Source living through you. And it's a now moment becoming. It's your sacred sharing of who you are in all moments, so that all moments are sacred. Not wishing it could have been done another way. Not trying to force an expectation or an outcome. It's the unconditional flow of love. an unconditional trust that all things are blessed and perfect, for you are source. How could it be otherwise? And letting go of the stories or the expectations that anyone or any aspect of you have painted for yourself on how it should fall into place or unfold or unfurl or unveil or bloom or blossom, however words you choose to define it. For they are fixed, are they not? The words that one uses are so fixed in limitation, are they not? For if you try to bring in visualization a flower, and this flower has infinite potential, but until we speak the words and we add color to the words, and perhaps this flower is pink with some beautiful, beautiful high violet tones, and you can see the beautiful pollen that comes up from the center of the flower as the petals are all blooming and blossoming in perfect array and perfect sacred geometry. And the stem is so very long and strong as it moves in the wind. And we're adding the texture, we're adding the energy, we're adding the vibration to that one thought. So now this flower takes on a new vibration. And to each and every one of you, that vibration of that flower will be something different. For your color is different. For your intonations of what that flower moves and sounds like and feels like is different and unique. So allow this to be the moment for moment unfolding that all is perfect and all is well. It doesn't have to be done exactly the way someone says it or exactly how someone said it would unfold as if, or your old stories as if, because they're reflections that were done in that moment. And this is a now new moment. It's infinite, is it not? For the flower could be all things, all places, and all hues, could it not? Why not? Why not open at the divine sacred heart and allow the all to be the all, for it is it not? And why not have your now reality, however it may appear, whether you're on a break at your lunch break or you're at work, however it may be, however your reality may be defined, this is what we want to allow you to swim within. Your essence as source, your essence as your creatorhood is as open and as infinite is. To be sacred and aware that your heart center, that your divine sacred heart, the all that you are, the portal of all that you are, has access to all things, all wisdom, all intelligence, all colors, all hues, yet not even defined or described or titled or labeled. You have access to all things. You are all things. Ascension is and always will be your stillness and your presence as source. Each moment that you embody source. Each moment that you embody your remembrance as source. How fluid and open can your reality become? In the accepting, in the stillness, and in the simplicity of allowing the permission, the sacred permission held within your heart. There is a sacred permission, and it's a golden seed. And this golden seed held within your divine sacred heart is there always for you, awaiting for you to activate it through your invitation. You can so if you wish to hold a sacred initiation or a sacred experience to call this forward. But it is your promise and your sacred moment through which Source offered you forward through your own divine will and your own choosing of excitement to be here in this moment on planet Earth with others as you're opening into your divine universal allness. You're feeling the celestial families and the councils and the groups celebrate you on your journey. For they're here with you and in every moment that you choose to acknowledge and invite, give yourself permission to feel the fluidity of love that is held within every now moment. And this seed offers you the opportunity to call it forward and live through you. I call forward my sacred seed of Source. This sacred seed of Source is the elegance, is the agreement that I made when I was ready to live of Source. And what I may have thought was my enlightenment and awakened journey of my human evolution can be so lovingly held in every now moment, so that I don't have to define it and outline it with expectations and timelines and goals. I release that. For the expansiveness of the new earth frequency is now. That's it, now. And this embrace of now, and this living of now, why not allow it to be your most excited, most joyful, most divine moment every now? And now I invite the divine source creator to live through me in the sacred seed that I hold within, the sacred altar of all that I am. To allow me to embrace timelessness, to allow me to embrace the now moment and source within all things, so that simplicity and love reign all. And how through the most profound co-creations are lived through simplicity and love. For this is the elegance of Source. Simply profound, simply still, simply knowing, simply joyful. The stillness and the elegance of Source. And in this moment that we recognize our Source oneness, in this moment that we recognize our threadedness with Earth, with all the consciousness that is nature, in this moment that we recognize our oneness and our threadedness with all of our celestial families and the heavenly councils, and we open to our own unique, authentic essence with Source, for that's all every moment requires. You can choose to have goals or plans, you can choose to have timelines, but all that truly matters is your oneness in each moment with Source. Love. Simple. Stunning and life-altering. And we allow our multidimensional bodies to become relaxed as we begin our alignment and our meditation, allowing us to think about and to muse and ponder and call in the vibrations of stillness, to call in the vibrations of oneness, to call in the vibrations of living as Source, to call in the vibrations of the sacred God seed within us, to call in the vibrations of celebration, as we call in the vibrations of our sacred soul family and sacred healings and activations, as we call in the vibrations of our sacred oneness with the heartbeat of Gaia, our threaded oneness with our human collective, as we call in the vibrations of stillness and what it means to be still and to experience stillness, to experience our heart chakra, the sacred door of God that is in the center of the shoulder blades, right behind the spine, as the prana tube opens that runs along the spine up and down, allowing all of the multidimensional sacredness come to life as you invite it to. I invite myself to be more aware than ever, that I sense into the sacred doorways and portals of all that I am, a Source. For I understand there's vortices, I understand that there's our portals and access points of my allness with Source. I understand that there are chakras beyond what I know. I understand that in the moment that I open in my stillness and invite it in, I am able to awaken all that I am to all that I am, so that I feel the door of God within me, that awakens the divine sacred heart within me, the altar through which all sacred co-creations are, all sacred wisdoms come from. All the intelligence is all oneness with all things through the portal of the heart, through the sacred gratitude of the heart, through which we open in joy and appreciation of all that we are as multidimensional beings, gifted this blessed life. And through gratitude and appreciation, the language of the angels, we open all that we are to greater moments of love, to greater moments of sharing, to greater moments of simplicity as joy. And feeling the prana tube, a beautiful, brilliant crystalline tube running along the spine. And see the spiraling light codes and see the spiraling light emanations that run up and down this beautiful prana tube. And this prana tube, linked within your multidimensional systems, is the tube that allows Source Creator to live through you, nourishing all that you are, as your invitation to activate sacred source breath. Through every inhale, your consciousness expands, your exploration expands, all that you are as a multidimensional being expands through the inhale of sacred source breath. And you feel all that you are expand as that prana tube inhales, source encodations spiraling up through the omnipresence, through your 13 chakras, all harmonizing and spinning and spiraling as one. And you can begin to move your arm softly and gently in a spiral rotation in front of you to begin to feel the vortex of all that you are, the soup of all that you are come into play. Through your invitation and through your activation, your multidimensional fields, the sphere, the auric field that you are, beginning to feel as a soft rotation of love and light. And the prana tube offering you the sacred source encodations of pure unconditional love, pure unconditional light, to the top of all that you are as an essence. You're being bathed and cleansed and cleared with unconditional love of Source Creator. The Christ consciousness bathing you with a crystalline pink emanation of unconditional love. Bathing your physical field, your physical body. Bathing and cleansing and healing your emotional field. Bringing it to greater balance and greater harmony, greater centeredness. You're being bathed and cleansed with the multidimensional light encodations and light emanations. In the mental field, to allow the mental mind to surrender into your soul, to surrender into your divine sacred heart. And your etheric field, all that you are as an auric, etheric, magnetic, multidimensional being of light is being bathed and cleansed and cleared with the divine source essence of the Creator, pure unconditional love and pure unconditional light. And as you feel the slight rotation of the chakras and all that you are, as you're creating that harmonization by your intention, I harmonize all that I am, my divine higher self, the crystalline angelic aspect of all that I am, all 13 chakras, all multidimensional bodies, all that I am as a source essence being bathed and cleansed and cleared and harmonized through my intention, through my activation, through my grounding of all that I am, through the prana tube and my sacral chakra through my exhale. Grounding and centering through the sands and soils, feeling the sediment of Gaia, feeling the sands and soils envelope you, feeling you bathed by the elements within the soil, through the water of the soil, and all that is Gaia feeding you as you inhale those nutrients from Gaia. Bathing and cleansing with the Gaia frequencies as you hold the inhale at the top. Opening your pineal and your soul chakra. Offering your omnipresent wisdom to now live through you as harmonized wisdom, as harmonized light, as harmonized, destined now moments. Clearing and cleansing and smoothing out any vibratory threads. If you've taken on any energy, given away any power, it's returning to you now. Any energy you've taken on from others or around your world, just walking about, you're releasing through your intention. You're being bathed and cleansed and purified and nourished by the pure, unconditional love of Source. You see those particles being transmuted and released. And your entire multidimensional experience that you are the experience of Source, fluid, malleable, so light, so fluid, so profound, anchored in Gaia's heartbeat, calling in the heartbeat of Gaia. I am harmonized and I am anchored in the crystalline heartbeat of Gaia, and I open to the Gaia consciousness, wisdoms, and light and healing. And all that you are as a source essence, infinite beyond what words can say, infinite beyond what this alignment can offer. Your threadedness, your particle movement in all that is. And you bring all of your consciousness as this vortex is spiraling softly and gently in its cleansed and purified state of its highest Christed essence. And you call all of your consciousness in, all of your focus, all of your intention into your divine sacred heart. And you call your most expansive aspects, all of your heightened intelligence, all that you are as a Christed being of light. And you call it all in for this sacred moment of stillness. And you call it all in. You call it your heightened aspects of light and love in this movement of elegance, in this movement of oneness, in this movement of your mastery to honor all that you are, to be sacred in all that you are, to begin to explore all that you are in new ways and feel all that you are in new ways. And you call it all into this heart center. Feel the grounding of all that you are into the sacred crystalline heartbeat of Gaia. And you hold your presence of all that you are at your divine sacred heart. And like a beautiful sphere that you're holding invisibly before you, right in the center of your being, you feel the essence and the energy of this pulsating, spiraling energy of all that you are. This golden sphere of love and the golden sphere of light that you are. Your intensified focus of love and light. Your intensified focus of honoring each now moment, to be present in the now, to fully, truly explore now, to explore stillness, to explore your oneness as Source. And as you've harmonized all that you are as an omnipresent being, and as you feel the lightness and the excitement and the joy and the profundity of all that you are, as you've harmonized and you've cleansed and you've cleared, and you've brought all that you are back to your holy center, back to the holy altar, back to your divine sacred heart space, back within the sacred seat of all that you are as Source Creator. And we place both hands on our divine sacred heart, for the chakras within our hands activate the energies of our connection of oneness. And through breath, we activate our intentions to explore stillness and oneness with Source. And as you exhale, feel all of your consciousness return to your sacred altar. In the very center of your being, in the very center of your chest, sits a beautiful sacred altar to appear however you so desire it to appear. And this sacred altar is a sacred space, a sanctuary, a blessed space through which your seed destiny, your soul's calling, your soul's desire, the ache, the divine discontent is felt, so that the inner seeking begins, so that the inner exploration begins. And this sacred altar will always, 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 as it's ignited, have that innate equal return to the center. For this is innate in the Source exploration of creation and evolution, to always return to center, to always return to Source. The reunification, the remembrance, our experience as multidimensional beings, as humans, remembering our divinehood, remembering our now explorations, remembering the now essence of all that we are. The embodiment of light, the embodiment of love, the embodiment of exploration in its most dynamic experience. And this sacred altar is warm and inviting. It's always open for you. It's always sacred and safe for you. It's a co-creative sacred space in which you and Source Creator, the Divine Mother and the Divine Father, that equal, simple partnership of love exists. And in this sacred altar is a sacred space of the God Seed. This God Seed is your emanation of who you are as God in human form, so that you may activate and initiate in your own divine timing, at your own divine will, through purity of intent, through the excitement to explore who you are as Source, the divine child of play, the divine child of sacred, benevolent movement, can be called forward through your stillness. And your consciousness sits at the still center, your sacred altar, and the sacred seed held in your heart and in your hand, through the divine heart of Source, through the divine heart of you, through the divine heart of creation, infinite, infinite plans and blueprints and agendas and destinies that you are enthreaded with. This sacred seed offered to you, for you, through you. And it's in your stillness that you invite Source to come forward. Through the soft whispers, through the heavenly song, through the heavenly co-creation, and you soften deeper and deeper and deeper into stillness, at the center of your being, so still. To feel this now moment, expansive, infinite, creatively dynamic, and this divine God seed for you to nourish, for you to care for you to share and plant and sow, for you to offer in your sharing sacred vibrations of who you are as Source. And as your body inhales and exhales, feeling the rhythm of sacred breath, feeling the encodations of love and light and glistening essence of Source in breath, I am the light of Source, and through my breath, I activate all that I am as Source. I call the love of all creation forward through me in this moment of now. As my heart opens and awakens, As my divine sacredness comes forward, I am recalling memories of my angelic frequencies. I am calling memories of my gifts and my skills. I am being awakened to my capabilities. That as I surrender into this now, any now moment, unconditional trust and surrender, all will be made available. New stories of my allness, new dimensional playing fields of my explorations and my excitement to explore. And in the stillness of this now moment, I am shown the vastness of creation. I open to my own importance and my own value. I open to how much I am loved and I am honored. And I release what no longer serves with ease and grace. And I open to the embodiment of who I am, brand new. For in every now moment, in my stillness of source, my cells are repatterned, my thoughts are repatterned. What I know myself to be has been repatterned. The vast perspectives of my allness are repatterned. I create infinitely in this now, in allowance. I open to the allness of this now. I call forward Divine Source Creator, the balanced frequencies in my divine centering, the highest vibrational message. Allow yourselves to be loved, dear ones. For too often you are so busy. Too often your errands and your to-dos, your old ways of behaving, having you spiraling and cycling in keep you on a perpetual motion of resistance. Often you don't even realize, dear ones, when you soak within the moment of surrender, as you soak within surrender and stillness, stillness becomes so fluid and open. It allows you to feel as a portal. It allows you to become a portal. As you surrender into love, surrender into now. You allow yourself to receive love. The love that every aspect and every particle of you so desires and aches for. For how often do you walk through your life with the frequencies that you do not or have not heard? or have not experienced the intimacy of love. A true love that is caring and deep and rich, intimate as a breath is. Have you mused about the intimacy of breath? Have you mused about the intimacy of beauty within your breath? How expansive that is it not? Your breath, dear lighted ones, still and now, is a gift of love. How may you soak within the love that you are offered every breath? Vibrational patterns within breath that you may open and surrender to, nourishing your multidimensional bodies in new ways. Allowing the myriad aspects of you, suppressed and oppressed emotions, ailments and injuries, memories and timelines. How may you open to love? Surrendering into this now moment. Your heart's wide and your heart's pure. Your entire system of allness harmonized in this one moment of surrender. May we celebrate on this divine solstice of your oneness, of your entire human collective, heart space as oneness. As the human heart pulsates, desire for remembrance of universal oneness. As the entire embodiment of Source Creator, held within the oceans and the sands and soils and mountains. And all life in this now moment opens to receive love. I allow myself to receive divine sacred love now. We hear you, dear lighted ones. Often your heart sending out pulsations of intention, of prayers before your words are spoken. We hear you. For we live within your hearts, dear ones. And as you're fussing about life, we hear what you need and what you want. However, are you creating the sacred sanctuary to be still in your now moment to receive it? So busy, most of you are so busy. Can you allow yourself a break, and how may you create the importance of being still, to nourish your body, to nourish your sensory systems, just to be still. And to know that any plan or blueprint or timeline that you're meant to be on, dear ones, comes from the moment that you're still and you begin that honest, open, loving dialogue with Source. And what excitement your heart holds. What creative joys do your heart hold? What's your excitement to share with your human brethren? How may you be still within these moments, dear ones, to celebrate the harvest of all that you've created beforehand. But now you have the opportunity, dear ones, and you always have. In this now moment, how may you birth and sow anew from stillness and surrender and allowing yourselves to be loved. As you open into love, dear ones, you make yourself that much lighter and grander and more of service to all others. For some of you are so tired. Some of you need just a couple of days where you just be still in your oneness, to explore your own oneness, to come to a happy, joyful laughter so that your belly jiggles in your own oneness, so that you become sacred in your boundaries. For many of you have been tested in your boundaries, haven't you? You're opening up to all things. And how may you be sacred within your relationship of you? How may you celebrate all that you've done and how far you've come? How often do you do that, dear ones? How often do you sit in a quiet repose and just give yourself a few moments, a couple of times throughout your day? Say, wow, look at all I've created for myself. I've gone through so many healings. I used to be so closed and now I'm open. I used to be so worried and now I'm carefree. Allow yourself those moments of sacred gratitude for the journey that you've carried. You've changed the earth of Gaia. You've changed the heartbeat of humanity. How may you celebrate this, dear ones? How may your hearts open to this truth? How may your hearts open to the truth? All that you've done, all that you've let go, all that you've allowed yourself to love and bring in anew. Change in the face of creation that you can't see yet, but you will. You'll see it and know it and hear it in every way, dear ones. For it is this voice of God coming from within you to say you're so dearly loved, child. And I'm always with you, holding your hand. And there's a sacred space in my heart for you. And I know exactly who you are. I've been with you every moment and every challenge, reminding you of how perfect you are. Even when you don't see it, even when you ignore it, even when you busy yourselves away from it. For we, the councils and Source Creator, will never stop reminding you. The essence of Gaia, singing through the soils. Awaken, awaken, I'm with you. Celebrate the love that you are, dear ones. Celebrate the love that you've created. Celebrate the love that you've remembered. Be grateful in your hearts. Appreciate all that you are, for you are the essence of Source, the embodiment of that light. And you may intend, and you may move, and you may open and offer a new field of consciousness play in whatever you're excited to. And know that the flowers will hear you and begin to move with you. And know that the oceans and the mountains are also beginning to play with you. For you are at one with God, are you not? And the God you are. Particles of God in all things. That is. Awake and ready to entangle in a new dance. We invite you to know that it is an entanglement. We invite you to know that the pulsations of your heart bring forward to you and magnetize to you the conditions and the synchronicities that you need. And to be still in love, just still. And open at your heart and allow it. Allow your magnificence, dear ones. It'll touch you on the shoulder and on the nose. It'll tickle your heart and make you laugh. For it is the miracle that you see before you, dancing and spiraling until you slow yourself down long enough to recognize it as such. See what we're saying here, dear ones. In the soup of creation, right now and now and now, there's a miracle. But are you softened, and are you open, and are you accepting and allowing of it? We allow you to open your hands to creation and the mudra to receive. We ground into the sands and soils of Gaia as we feel our oneness in all things. And our divine sacred hearts for those listening now and future now moments, as we celebrate this divine summer solstice in receiving of all that we have sown, and in this harvest through which we share all that we are as source beings of light and embodiment of sacred love. And all thoughts and joys and wishes and prayers we send forward to the human family in our oneness, so that your hearts may awaken in joy and your hearts may awaken in this harmony and song that is human singing of our freedom and our liberation and the greater good be served, and that all bellies be filled with nutritious food, and that the air be cleansed and the water be cleansed, and all that we are as a human collective with nature, with wildlife, be in harmony and in balance. And whatever it is that you so desire in your life right now, dear ones, know that your prayers have already been answered. But can you be still and open at your heart and invite your heart to open? Invite all that you are to open. Release all resistance. Release all expectations of your worthiness. Release all belief systems that held you outside of grace. Release everything that makes you think you gotta do something for the love that has been your birthright. Allow yourselves to be loved. Surrender and open to in all that we are for the blessings bestowed of the highest grace for each and every one of us to truly soak within the moments of silence and reverence and sacredness. with the divine and the holy, of our unified blessing that we are, to receive what is perfect and meant, divinely timed, divinely needed, so that we may ever deepen the richness of who we are with Source and express and share it forward unconditionally, selflessly, and in devotion, ever perpetuating the divine evolution that is God, that is love, that is sacred life. I receive all that is perfect in my surrender to Source. I release all resistance and I receive now. And we come together in divine gratitude and appreciation for all that we are graced and blessed with. And we also send heart rays of rainbow crystalline light to all of our human family, to all beings of all ages, wherever they are at their path, to know that they are loved unconditionally, that there are fields and gardens of love to co-create within, that there are heavenly councils and families and celestial teams and light ships and all life in all corners of all moments, waiting for connection and re-entanglement and dancing in sacred love and sacred joy. And we send prayers and gratitude and thankfulness to all essence of love and life as we open our own hearts to receive and give thanks and gratitude for all that we are upon our journeys and all that we have done and all that we have moved through to be exactly where we are. We awaken ourselves to new gardens of love that we co-create through our seed thoughts and through our pulsations of our hearts. As we co-create as one, as we co-create in the likeness of Source Creator, in the gods and goddesses that we have been in many timelines, and we thread together through our allowance of love, through our gratitude of love, new higher vibrations, new consciousness templates that we sew and thread in our excitement to explore Source Creator in human form. Through sound, through tone, through light language, we allow ourselves to co-create new sacred templates of becoming, and through the fields of all that we are, feeling the heart-threaded pulsations from the heart center into the consciousness fields, and through sacred sound and through sacred tone and light language, new moments of exploration, new moments of new gardens and new beginnings and new stories of the fluidity of now, of the fluidity of love, of the fluidity of stillness and the expansiveness of Source within. Hoi ananata eke ana laisia anna eke ananaka. Hoi anata te eshi anna eke ananata eke ke anna te ke anna. Hoi ananakata te anna e anna. Hoi anna mba e te ke anna na eke anna. Hoi anna te ke she anna eke anna. Foi ana te ke ya. Fu te ki a ana a. Fu ki ana si a na ya ka. Pai ki ana ya ke. Fu ana ki ana se te ana ki ana. Fu ai na da dai te ana ka da dai ke shi ana. Hui anakai de anakai de anakai de anaka. Hui anaka de jia. Hui ananai de jia anaka prai de jia anai a de anaya. Hui anaya ki anai. Ki anaya ki anaya. Sacred Song of Stillness. Thank you, divine heavenly groups and sacred tribes within the earth, and the sacred tribes within the earth. That was a beautiful offering from a beautiful master, showing me that our appreciation for stillness in nature, and how the flower is still and how the blade of grass is still, and how we can shift our perspectives and our perspective on stillness. And we've been entrained as a human collective to always be doing in that action part and that movement part, when that stillness of source, that stillness of love, and the beauty of that stillness, there's always something moving, there's always something happening. But in our way of thinking, in our way of perceiving, there's nothing really happening. It's just um, stillness, because we're so used to that movement. But he was showing me that the mountains, although that our perspective is that mountain is a mountain, it's never moved. In every moment it's changing, in every moment its understanding of its presence with source, of its presence within the all, its story within the all, is shifting it and changing it. And us viewing the flower, the blade of grass, he was showing me that there was elders that would really observe, really be the observer of nature, and muse and just honor and appreciate what that nature was offering within the whole, and allowing it to be a story within a story that is vibrationally perfect and vibrationally honoring and vibrationally cohesive with all else. But there's so many of us that feel as if that our part and our role is not important or valued or valid, but that each of us are as the blades of grass, as the flowers within the garden and the heavenly gardens that we're each sowing. And how beautiful that that stillness so appears at one moment, but that it's such quantum movement within the all. The source creator is the movement within the all, and it's love, and it's beautiful, and it's still, and it's silent, and it's gorgeous, and it's benevolent, and it's threaded within the benevolency of all else. And so it was a beautiful offering, so thank you, the divine and heavenly tribal masters from the mountains, allowing us to perceive from a new perspective of stillness in nature and how that stillness is a moving story and a moving song within and of itself. So thank you. And the Arcturian group message, we are pleased to connect within with you here in this way. Our hearts are open in great joy to play with you as you open and allow yourselves to play with one another. We see you growing and deepening your connections within your reality, more so now than ever before. As you seek for the connections, know that you become it. When you call in what you think you require, you become it. It's a quantum soup. So as I call in sacred loving relationships, I become that. When I call in sacred health and vitality, I become that. Because the quantum soup is always, even though we think and we can't see it, it's always alive based on what you're intending and your vibration, at your core vibration is. It's a vibrational field that you are. As you call in that sacred relationship, it becomes you. As you call in that entwinement with Source, it becomes you. So that was a beautiful remembrance and awakening. What you call in becomes the quantum soup of your experience. As you call the Creator to live through you, it becomes your quantum soup that lives through you, that you begin co-creating with, that you begin experiencing. Through all that you are, you're awakening to the new blessings and gifts that you've always been, and you can co-create within at a higher and deeper level. So as I'm calling in the sacred oneness of Source, as I'm calling in the sacred embodiment of oneness with the new fields of play, as I'm allowing my heart to open and share, as I'm allowing all that I am to sing and sound, as I'm allowing all myself to be threaded in all new ways, it so becomes me, because I'm calling it, I'm becoming it, I am it. And so how easy it is for us to be that masterful. And I have experienced that when I'm using my divine sacred heart and I'm opening and I'm allowing this threading of love. And you begin to feel, and you can attune yourself and you can attune your field to feel into what's going on and the love that's outpouring from your heart. And it's a beautiful quantum thread and it's a beautiful quantum movement. And I'm calling in sacred light. I'm calling in miracles. I'm calling in the synchronicity of nature. I'm calling in sacred loving relationships and healings that I'm able to offer and help and assist within. And all of these become my quantum field of play. And living in this now moment, there'll be moments where you receive. Just open and be still. And then there'll be moments where you want to play within the field and co-create within the field. And then to open and reflect and integrate. And be still and honor and receive and gift back. And those are the cycles of the seasons. Those are the cycles of giving and receiving. Those are the cycles of becoming and becoming and becoming. Your sacred becoming. And how to remember that there's oftentimes nothing for us to do. And we've gotten into this habit over the last 10 or 15 years of awakening and enlightenment work. That there's endless processes of clearing and healing and endless processes of ascension doing. But it's just really about your allowance of that self-sacredness. And that stillness to be loved, that inviting of love, that inviting of your sacredness, that inviting of allowance, that inviting of all that you are and be accepted as all that you are. And remembering how beautifully powerful and sacred the vibration of joy is, and allowing yourself to be joyful and allowing yourself to be playful, allowing yourself to be loved and allowing yourself to be happy. Because those vibrations are at the divine sacred heart center and they become part of your playing field. It becomes part of your tools. that you're just naturally sending out and you're naturally emanating forward. And it's really, really, really important to, part of the maintenance of your multidimensional bodies is to sustain that joy and sustain that heartfelt essence of who you are. And so the vibration of joy is really, really important. And so allow that to be your sacred musing, perhaps for the next week as we're entering into these beautiful summer solstice energies. Really at the heart level, what is it that you're excited to explore? What is it in your reality that you're excited to become more of a part of and entangle within? And really set these heartfelt intentions and musings as your sacred song with source. Like it's your moving song, it's your ever moving ballet, it's your ever moving co-creation, it's your ever moving sacred story of you. And let go of all of the ascension stories we've told ourselves, or all of the timelines or expectations of how it would unfold. And just allow that sacredness to simply come forward and live through you. And your sacredness be felt from here. Live your heart from here. Live your soul's journey from here. Speak from here. Allow the opening from here to open up into new love, to open up into new grace, and open up into your soft, pure power that we've been talking about lately on our video offerings. And that's truly the beauty and the elegance of Source that is you. So that's lovely. So thank you so much, dear lighted ones, and we wish you many blessings and many beautiful harvest returns, and allowing yourself to receive in these beautiful energies, allowing yourself to be all that you are as the divine co-creator of Source Creator. And remember how valuable and how profound the vibration of joy is, how profound the vibration of sacred play and creative play is. And we wish you many happy blessings and beautiful happy summer solstice. Thank you and namaste.